The Maya Optic Görlitz dummy plan 50mm f2.8 was a very common 50mm lens out of East Germany way back when. The most popular version had that interesting zebra design. Today's lens, the TTArtisan 23mm f1.4, seems to take a lot of design cues from that lens, but let's hope it fares a lot better when it comes to image quality. We're shooting this intro with it, of course, so that's one of the rough and ready random samples that we've got to compare, but there's going to be a lot more, as you know, straight out of camera stuff, so we can get to grips and I can get a good impression of the lens. But first we're going to look at it up close, and later it's going to be over to you. Anyway, let's crack on. The eagle-eyed will notice throughout this video, or somewhere in this video, that I've been shooting with, or I'm shooting with, my preferred black version. But this in here, that's a pretty straightforward instructions that TTArtisan have been putting out. The warranty card, silica gel, do not eat, and the lens itself. What you'll see then is here I've got the zebra version. So we've got that fairly familiar flat cap, solid though, metal. This is a very metal feeling lens. I'm liking that. That's plastic, but we're used to that. Nice typical X mount there on the back. And that, I think some people really like this. Let us know if you really like this sort of zebra look. Now, I'm not into shooting with silver gear, and obviously this has a bit of silver on, so you know, it's fine. It looks good. It doesn't look too bad. The aperture ring clicked not so smooth as it's been in the past. Clicks nicely, actually. I mean, it's still quite a fine thing. It's f16 to 1.4. That was quite a jump there. It's in line with the dot. That's not too bad. And then if we go right down to here, that actually moves pretty smoothly. You can see the lens moves in and out a little bit. We'll throw up an aperture test later and we'll see how we get on with that. So as a 23mm lens, that gives you a 34.5mm full frame equivalent, an angle of view 62 degrees, 8 elements in 6 groups, 10 diaphragm blades. So, you know, it's not optically the same as that Maya Optic Görlitz dummy plan. It's been a long time since I've spoke any German, sorry. So yeah, as we saw, that f1.4 to 16, that's quite decent. Minimum focus distance, rather interestingly, 20 centimeters. That could be fun. Let's see where infinity stops dead on the marking. So yeah, not bad. Filter size 43mm. I don't have a 43mm ND at the moment, and I wanted to play around with that a little bit. We've had some rather crazy, and not in a good way, sort of light lately. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. It only weighs 224 grams, $110 retail. So I think that normally, you know, works out to be similar in pounds these days. But hopefully by the time we summarize our thoughts, we'll have more information on that. Now, just for the sake of it, let me grab my preferred version. I mean, there's not a lot in it. There's not a lot in it. And this does make it look more metallic and cool, I guess. Yeah, there's the two side by side. It's literally just that that's different with the design, the black and the silver. Quite cool. Dinky little things, actually. That is quite nice. I've been using it on the T4, actually, this one, and it just fits really well. Even though I've got a grip on my T4, it's not really necessary at all with a dinky lens like this, nice and light. But yeah, let's throw up some random samples. then we can get to talking about it, especially in the comments below. While I was preparing this video, I put up a poll on my Instagram to see which of the two, the black or the zebra, you preferred. And by you, I mean those of you that follow my randomness on Instagram. And as it happened, the zebra won 57%. Pretty interesting. Still prefer the black myself, and I shot with that just for the extra discretion. But yeah, I get it. It's kind of cool. I'm not a fan of silver lenses, you know, but that little bit on there, that splash, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty different. But yeah, I think 57% is about fair. Let us know what you think in the comments below if you're particularly fussed either way. Now, that 35mm focal length is the closest, you know, to one of the most versatile focal lengths for a photographer. It's not too wide, it's not too long. It's a very familiar point of view. So how does the lens fare? Well, after some use, I can say the build quality is excellent. It's a solid, dinky thing that works well, give or take a few little flaws. For a simple shooter that doesn't worry about the scales and the markings, it's easy to use out and about. And as is pretty typical with these low-budget lenses lately, yeah, thumbs up for build quality and handling. Manual focusing, as always for me with focus peaking, it's a treat. In this case, as far as the lens goes, it's good, smooth, well adjusted, no problems. Now the clicked aperture ring is small, but tactile enough to use in the real world, and the stops are relatively pronounced, so you can't go far wrong using it as long as your fingers are happy with the understandable slim nature of the part that you actually turn. What about the all-important image quality then? Well, sharpness, I think is very good in the center, and it drops off quickly towards the edges. I think the sweet spot overall for the whole frame is around f5.6, f8 maybe, but where's the fun in that with an f1.4 lens. I think it renders colours pretty well, maybe a leaning towards magenta at times, but you know, otherwise nice and nothing that you can't correct in post if need be. There is noticeable vignetting when shooting wide open, but that disappears as you start to stop down around f2.8 or so, and it's gone. Anyway, you might enjoy that vignetting wide open. The lens is slightly prone to flaring and chromatic aberration is present, you know, but generally not a problem with these things. Barrel distortion is quite noticeable though if you go looking for it, but for me it didn't affect most of the shots that I was taking at all. You might notice it in a little stop down test, but you know, not too bad otherwise. Okay, however, it's nothing special. It's not usually that bad overall, but there are some instances where I found it to be quite messy. The lens comes in at around £76 on Pergear right now, and when it's finally on Amazon, you know, I'll throw up the price if it's there by the time I'm editing this, or you'll get it in the link below anyway. But while we're at it, I was sent this cool little gadget, the TTArtisan light meter. So we'll have a little quick up-close look at it to see what it's like. Yeah, it's a bit of nostalgia, it's a bit of crack, and let's just see. It's a meter. Is that how you spell it? You know, this is England. Anyway, it is, because you've got full instructions there, actually. This is probably really cool for somebody starting out, you know, that doesn't really know how metering works so much other than just to flick it on and mess with the dials on your camera, which basically has a little computer in it. So here it is, look at that. It's a dinky little thing, and it comes with this really cool little screwdriver, which a family member tried to steal because it seemed to be handy for fixing the door. Anyway, that's a very nice little touch. Pop that back in there, and what you want to do is pop a little battery in, nice simple battery. You can get a load of them from Poundland if you're in the UK. Point it in the right direction and mess with the dials. It's a good bit of fun, especially for a manual shooter. It's not necessarily something that's going to change your life, unless you're starting out and you just want to have a little play. Sometimes you might not even want to have your camera. You might just want to check the exposure on the go and help you get used to certain things, so eventually you can eyeball, oh yeah, 60th, we used to say in the old days, 60th f8 on a sunny day, the sunny f8 rule. So, you know, you'll be able to check that out. You can put your speed in there, your ISO, set your ISO. Say we've got a 400 for argument's sake, which was a nice general setting. You tended to go, you know, with the hundreds if you were shooting outdoors, and then when you came indoors. If it was a wedding, you might pop to 800. I used to push my 800 film to 16 and get an amazing grain out of it. And that was Fujifilm Neopan for that stuff, not for the general color stuff, of course, because Neopan was black and white. Yeah, so bit of rambling. That's a nice little bit of kit, little button there, solid feel, and a little plus, minus, and another little LED in the middle. £44 then for a cool little retro gadget. Might be one for the collectors then, maybe, or maybe not, but yeah, nice little fun thing. Anyway, back to the lens. All in all, while it doesn't inspire me that much, it might well work for you, and I think it's basically a very good lens at this price point. More importantly then, we look forward to hearing from you in the comments below, and until next time, stay safe and enjoy shooting this week.